Okay, so we are going to go over some proof and logic symbol notation that we've learned so far. We're just going to kind of review over the symbols. I'm on page 18 of my notebook, so I'm going to put that in my table of contents right here. The other notes you should have taken from the other videos, you should label those pages as we normally do. So the first one we're going to talk about is a conditional. A conditional, the symbols for that is P, arrow, Q, which means if P, then Q. The next one is a hypothesis. The hypothesis is always the P, which means the conclusion is always Q. Okay. When we're talking about an inverse of a conditional statement, that's talking about, that looks like this. The negation of P and the negation of Q. We're talking about the converse. The converse is just P and Q switched. So if Q, then P. And the contrapositive is both of these things. So the negation and you switch them. So it looks like this. If the negation of Q, then the negation of P. Speaking of, I missed a sign, which is negation. The negation symbol is just a little squiggly line. Inverse, converse, contrapositive. A biconditional. So we have conditional, which goes one way. A biconditional goes both ways. So you can say if P, then Q, or you can go backwards. If Q, then P. So it's got two arrows going back and forth. That means it goes both ways. A conjunction looks like this. P and Q. A disjunction looks like this, which means P or Q. And the last two things we've learned. The law of detachment, which says this. The law of detachment says if you have P, going to Q, and that is true. So if P, sorry, this is a little sloppy. If P, then Q is true, and P is true, then Q is true. So if P going to Q is true and P is true, then Q is true. The next one is the law of syllogism. That says if P going to Q is true and Q going to R is true, then P and R is true. So this is the thing that I was talking about the other day. A lot of you had questions over. If your conclusion Q is true of the first statement and the hypothesis of the second statement is the same, then they can kind of cancel out and make P and R a new conditional statement. Okay, hope this helps.